The first story I want to share with you is a Nobel Prize winner in physics called Rabi. When Rabi won the Nobel Prize for magnetic spin discovery, people asked him, in fact, the audience asked him, so what made you a scientist? And he did not say the investment of the government as percentage of GDP or the science laboratory or the science teacher. He said, my mother made me a scientist. I said, how on hell could your mother make you a scientist? He said, my mother made me a scientist because every day when all of us would come back from school, and they were all bright, nice Jewish kids, as you can see, every mother would ask, did you learn something new today? So, but my mother would ask, did you ask a good question today? I think that is the first thing about a research mindset. The reason we have failed in research is not because of dollars or whatever, it is because we have killed the questioning mindset. Today, if you put anything on internet, you could be put into jail under section 66A of the IT Act. In school, you are terrorized for trying to ask any question. You are supposed to follow whatever is said, and that comes in so much in us that even when we professionally become scientists, we don't dare to ask questions. Eton College is a very good college in the UK. Some of us were told the Battle of Waterloo was won on the playfields of Eton. John was a student there once upon a time, and out of a batch of 250, he was last in biology, 250 out of 250, pretty close to last in physics and chemistry. And of course, the teachers had very little hope from him. And many of you who would have got CBSE results of your children must be struggling through the same thing. What do I do with 86% mark? What do I do with 85% marks? So when John was asked, what do you want to become? This is school. He says, I want to become a scientist. And everybody had a big laugh. And they gave him a report card. This is a ridiculous idea. It would be a waste of everybody's time, and so on and so forth. Anyway, to cut a long story short, 2 years ago, he won the Nobel Prize in medicine for stem cell research. The point we are saying is that research is a mindset which gets created very early in youth. To think that a few institutes of the country control the research or should control research or be given more and more funds for research is an old mindset. And I want to emphasize this. IITs have become one more coaching institute. They may try to defend that they are not in the research ranks, not because of blaming that, but because they are not really, they were a very good teaching institute. Professor Sampath used to say, the day a student joins IIT Kanpur, on that day his soul migrates to the US. 4 years later, his body follows. That is what was the basic ambition of an IIT education. They never thought of changing the world in that sense, and most of them are well known for it. But anyway, what I am trying to say, to cut a long story short, is we have now moved to an area of democratization of research. So we need to build a research attitude right at school level. We create questioning minds, and because of the passage of technology now, today you have sensors which are very low cost. You have Raspberry Pis which are available to everybody. You have Arduinos which are available to everybody. You have Internet of Things which is going to create all kinds of data available. What you need to do is to tell people to come to terms with that. So a movement that is happening in the world is to encourage people to do computational thinking. They need to talk about mathematics using computers. They need to talk about large data sets being used. Every field now has computer data as the essential thing. You may do whatever you want. Eventually, it is large volumes of data, volume, velocity, variety, and therefore, we are talking about data scientist as something which is coming up. Anyway, quickly, in terms of what is the call of action, the first call of action is we need to create a movement encouraging people to think, to ask questions even if they don't know the answers. Right from the school stage onwards, we need to create massive programs to encourage people to be able to do science. And now that we have MOOCs, we can create MOOCs which people do at undergraduate level, as postgraduate level, and so on and so forth. And research is a way of thinking. So once you become like a researcher, you start looking at problems and look for solutions. Today, there is a huge cooperative possibility. So even if you are not in an institution, you can join hands with people all over the world. Internet actually was created for global cooperation. You can hire computer time. You can actually hire a supercomputer. That Cray in Mausam Bhavan was a big privileged thing. Today, you can go to Amazon Cloud and buy as much supercomputing power as you want. You have crowdsourcing and crowdfunding to be able to do these kind of projects. So what I'm trying to say is we need a new mindset. We need to create something. And I want to also suggest one, we mentioned about projects and the spin-offs and this thing. I want to suggest that we first begin to have a project on learning itself. The beauty of our system is we have a huge education system, but we don't know what is learning. We have no measures of learning. We can't define learning. We can't measure progress in learning. We cannot distinguish between a person who knows. Even the IIT entrance exam, what is it? It is a statistical chance that on that day you were able to answer those questions, and the difference between the last person who got in and the first person who didn't is purely his luck. There is hardly anything that you can say with reality. So, I think there is a huge need for us to do research cooperatively. So, mathematicians talk about measures of learning, physicists talk about instruments and this thing, psychologists talk about cognitive developments, more formal people talk about state transition from an ignorant state to a learned state, and so on and so forth. The reason this is important is that the traditional jobs are going to disappear. With new technologies like Watson, the engineer of yesterday, when we see all this employment of engineers, it is because they are not needed. See, anything which a machine, see, if you can do only what you have been taught how to do according to the low level algorithm taught in your AICTE approved engineering curriculum, it will be done by a piece of software or by a robo. Only if you can go to creativity of insights, and that is why what was research is same as creativity, innovation, looking at things. Brute force work will have no value because the computer will take the time and do it. It's only when you are able to go beyond that and create new insights, which is worthy of a high level human effort, will you get something. And I think this is what is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you.